Hey, Luka.
Hello.
Ready to go?
How are you guys?
Good, good. Good to see you.
I missed you guys.
It's very nice. Luka, I asked Rob what he kind of picked up on going over to Poland to see a practice in a game, and JJ as well, and he said just it was the leadership qualities that you had for your national team, and kind of he's excited to have you come now into this setting with the Lakers, and just wonder now with everything that happened this summer, the extension, you're here, how do you feel about that aspect of it, you know, being a leader of this team, and how that impacts your outlook as you go forward?
Yeah, honestly, I think I had a great summer. You know, starting even right after the season, starting my practices, starting my workouts, then obviously coming back here, signing the extension, having to go with the national team, and now I'm here. So it all starts again with fresh mind. So I'm very excited about it.
Luka, at the end of the season in Poland, you'd kind of said, you know, this team didn't really have time to ever practice together. And the team was still pretty successful and won a lot of games. What are the ways you think this time in camp together, particularly with LeBron and with Austin, can the three of you guys optimize each other?
I think just first of all, obviously talking about it, communicating is important, but then just, you know, trying some stuff in practice. Obviously, we didn't have time last season to go through, and I think that's why preseason is very important for me, for the team, just to kind of, how to say, get to know everybody, what everybody likes, and just, you know, in practice you can make a lot of mistakes. So that's why practices are. So we're gonna have a lot of practices, and I'm excited to figure out everybody.
Yeah, Luka, over here, Jim Hill, KCAL9 News. Congratulations and welcome. As you sit here and look at everyone here today, how excited does this make you to see everyone here coming to hear what you have to say about the upcoming season and welcoming you to the Lakers?
Sorry, can you repeat? I can't hear you.
How excited are you to see all of us here?
Oh, I'm very excited.
Yeah.
Are you guys?
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
Yeah.
I can't wait to do interviews.
What is it about Los Angeles that has attracted you so much? Because, you know, we know about the Lakers and everything, but, you know, this is the city of stars and everything else, and championships are expected here.
What are you saying, like basketball-wise? Or
Yes.
Basketball-wise? I mean, I'm just excited to play for the Lakers. You know, I obviously said this is one of the best organizations in the world. Like I said, you know, it's a fresh start for me, getting through whole preseason. I'm just excited to play for the Lakers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Luka, Brad Turner from the LA Times. What's your leadership style like, and how do you think that's going to work out with this team?
You say leadership?
What's your leadership style like, and how you think that can work with this team?
I mean, you know, like I said, when you get to the new team, you know, in the middle of a season, it's kind of hard, you know, to get everything together. But as I said before, you know, preseason is going to help me a lot with leadership, getting to know the guys. So through the practice, you know, me and JJ talk about it a lot. So we're just going to have to work it out.
Taking a win with the LA Times also. Luka, speaking to the leadership, how much more comfortable are you being a vocal leader or something, stepping out of your leadership box a little bit now that you've been with this team and this organization for a few months?
Way more comfortable. You know, like I said before, coming into the new team, it's kind of hard, you know, to get the leadership up. But that's what preseason is for. I had a great run with my national team. You know, kind of work on that leadership role. So I feel way more comfortable.
Luka, buenas tardes, buenos días. Bienvenido a una nueva temporada. Por fin vas a poder estar desde el principio con el equipo de los Lakers. ¿Cómo te sientes a este respecto?
Me siento muy bien. Tengo muchas ganas de empezar. Ya cuando acabó la temporada pasada, tenía muchas ganas de volver aquí, de empezar. Y me siento muy bien y muy preparado para esta temporada.
Luka, Kobe Price, to your left. Kobe Price, SoCal News Group. The last time we spoke with you in LA, after you signed the extension, we asked you about, you know, the changes to your physique, you know, the nutrition, the changes you made. Now that you were able to get on the court in Eurobasket, what differences did you feel physically in Eurobasket compared to how you ended last season with the Lakers?
I would just say probably way less tired, you know, a little bit quicker, like I said. Obviously in Europe there's 40-minute game. In NBA is 48, but we play a lot of games in not so many days. So I think fatigue is the biggest thing for me right now.
Luka, Mark Medina, Athlon Sports and Sportskeeda. With all the moves that the front office made this offseason, what's your expectations on how your new teammates can help things easier for you on the court?
I mean, they can help a lot. I think we added some great pieces. Obviously, we have to go through preseason, but I'm very excited to play with those guys. With some guys I play against, it was hard. So I'm glad they're on my team now. So I'm very excited to get to know them, personally, and to play with them.
Hey, Luka, after the off season that you had, is this the best you've ever felt entering into a season?
Maybe yes, maybe no. I don't know yet, honestly. But I just know I'm very excited. I'm very ready, and this season should be fun for us.
Hey, Luka. In the games you played in last year, you guys won at a 52-win pace. You guys won 50 games with the number 3 seed. So obviously it was not the ending to the season that you wanted. But what do you feel like you guys showed that you can take moving forward in last season, especially between you, LeBron, and Austin?
I think we showed like we can play with anybody. I think we had that one stretch that I felt like we played the best basketball in the NBA. Obviously, we had some new pieces to the team. So like I say, I'm very excited, and I think we can do some big things.
Hey, Luka, to your right here. Specifically on DeAndre Ayton, just your thoughts on getting an opportunity to play with him, seeing how the playoffs obviously went through, just having a dependable big man, just your thoughts on pairing up with him.
Yeah, I was very excited when they told me, we were trying to get DA. Obviously, we entered the draft together. I know him for a long time, so I'm very excited to have him on my team.
Hi, Luka. Nikki K with Spectrum. A lot was made of your physical transformation during the offseason, but did you make any adjustments mentally, emotionally, when you think about your new home, your new team, now that you've had an offseason to settle in?
Obviously, it's way easier now. Obviously, I went through a lot last year, and it wasn't easy to adjust. So, like I said before, this is a fresh start, fresh mind for me. So, I'm in a better place for sure.
Luka, Minor Castillo desde la cancha. Ya te preguntaban en inglés el tema del liderazgo, pero dime cuánto tiempo crees que te va a tomar para poder liderar a tus compañeros de equipo como lo hiciste en el Eurobasket con Eslovenia o como lo hacías con los Mavericks antes.
Bueno, la verdad que no sé, depende de todo, pero creo que mucho mejor que el año pasado. Creo que mentalmente estoy mucho mejor que el año pasado, así que no sé cuánto va a durar, pero creo que no mucho.
Luka, tengo 2 preguntas. Primero, ¿cómo resumes el off-season? ¿Cuáles fueron tus principales enfoques para llegar en la mejor forma a esta temporada? La mejor forma, ¿qué hiciste en el off-season para llegar a tu mejor forma esta temporada?
Bueno, trabajar bastante. Cuando acabó la temporada, fui a entrenar inmediatamente. Tenía mucho tiempo para entrenar y bueno, eso.
Y una más, te vimos compartiendo con Anjay Kopitar, tu gran amigo, y varios jugadores de los LA Kings. ¿Cómo viviste ese encuentro y qué sentiste al conocer su decisión de retirarse?
Sí, la verdad que lo he visto. Creo que lleva unas 20 temporadas aquí. Es algo increíble. Es un buen amigo y le deseo lo mejor.
Greg Beacham with the AP. You only got 23 games in the regular season with LeBron together in the playoffs. Now that you're going to have a training camp, where specifically do you think you guys can improve as a partnership?
I think just, like I said before, going through practices, it's going to help us a lot. Me, LeBron, and AR, I think we're the leaders of this group, and like us communicating, us practicing some things on the floor will help us a lot.
Luka, what part of your game did you work on during the off season?
I didn't work on anything specific. I think for me, the most I learned is playing 5-on-5, 4-on-4, 3-on-3. But I didn't work on anything specific. Just get in better shape. That's about it.
Luka, sorry, over here again. The organization gave JJ a contract extension they announced it on Thursday. What was it like working with JJ Redick? And I guess, how do you feel about the stability here with your extension, the ownership thing having happened, the 3 to 5 year plan for this organization?
Yeah, I think the stability is amazing. It was great to work with JJ. Hopefully we can work till the end of my career. I just love him as my coach. He will tell you anything. He will tell you if you did something wrong, if you did something good. So just approach to the game with him, it's unbelievable. So I'm very excited that he's my coach.
Hey, LeBron.
What's going on?
So, coming off an All-NBA season, right, kind of completely unprecedented to be either asked or thinking about retirement, the word, how you go into a season. These two things have never happened. There's never been a year 23 player. How do you square all that? Still playing at this level, but closer to the end than the beginning.
Right. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm excited about today. I'm excited about the opportunity to be able to play the game that I love for another season. And whatever the journey, however the journey, lays out this year, I'm just like super invested because like you just said, I don't know when the end is, but I know it's a lot sooner than later. So, being super appreciative of the fact that I could come up here and do another media day and talk to you guys and do all the stuff around here. So, just excited about the journey and whatever, this year has in store for me.
LeBron, along those lines, you've said a version of that in this room a couple of times where, you don't really know what's going to come next. You don't know when you're going to feel that it's been enough. What are the things that are still pushing you to keep doing this? And does it feel closer? Or does it sort of feel like the same feeling as when you enter year 22 and year 21? Yeah, I mean, the things that still push me is the fact that the love of the game is still high. The love of the process is even higher. So that's what continues to push me to play this game. I mean, it's really that's simple. Me training and working on my body and trying to get my body as close to 100% as possible every year is something that's like it's a beautiful thing for me, and just continue to challenge and see how well I can, push myself to, play the game at a high level, recover at a high level, be able to sleep better, mentally prepare, try to stay sharp throughout the course of a long season, and just like the roller coaster of an NBA season, that's all like gratifying towards me, to me, no matter the good, the bad, the ugly. Like I love that process. So I think it's a bigger, so much that goes into it, more than just, picking up a basketball and shooting it at the rim.
LeBron, Brad Turner from the LA Times.
How you doing, Brad? Nice to meet you.
Back again. How much does having a young partner like Luka weigh in your decision and your future going forward?
Say it again?
How much does having a young partner like Luka, a savant basketball player, how much will that weigh into your decision as you go forward with this season?
As far as how long I go in my career?
How long you can in your career, right?
Zero. The motivation to be able to play alongside him every night, that's super motivating. That's what I'm going to train my body for, every night that I go out there and try to be the best player I can for him. And we're gonna bounce that off one another. But as far as me weighing in on, him and some of my other teammates of how far I go in my career now, it would be literally my decision along with my wife and, two of my boys are already gone. Well, shit, one of them is somewhere around here. Yeah, Bryce is down there in Tucson, so he's out the house. So it'll be a decision between, me, my wife, and my daughter. Like, that's not even, it won't be, hey, having a meeting with my teammates. It won't be that.
Taking to win. Hi. Taking to win with the LA Times. Speaking to those teammates this year, what were some of your initial reactions to adding someone like Marcus, adding someone like DeAndre to this team this year?
Yeah, and Jake. Just adding, those three guys. Competing against those guys for years, and obviously we know, the matchups that I had with Marcus over the years, especially when we was in the Eastern Conference, him in Boston, me in Cleveland, and just all those matchups that we had. Happy to have him. I know what he brings to the game. I know, that team is first, second, third, fourth, fifth when it comes to Marcus Smart. Adding a big guy like DA, his skill set is very high. His athleticism is high. And so I think he adds another dynamic to our team along with Jackson. That'd be a great 1-2 punch at our center position. And then adding a wing like Jake, a big wing who can shoot the ball, can handle the ball, but his toughness, sneaky athletic as well, is going to be great for our ball club. And I'm just looking forward to seeing how it comes together. And the best thing about it, we have a full year starting off at training camp. I think that's going to be very good for our ball club, going into this year.
Kobe Price, SoCal News Group. When we spoke with JJ on Thursday, he was asked about you, Luka, and Austin, the chemistry working together. He mentioned a meeting he had with Sean McVay. He mentioned utility plays as a takeaway from the conversation, plays where you guys can all be involved together. What can a preseason and training camp do for the chemistry for you guys, and where's the excitement level of you guys, I guess, furthering that chemistry, furthering development?
No, I just think it's about time. The more and more time that we're together, the better we're going to be, and I think just having it start from day one. Obviously, us grabbing Luka, whenever that time period was, it took us all, time to transition into how we wanted to play as a team, as individuals, whatever the case may be. But, having day one, and the coaching staff having another year under their belt on how we all can complement each other, play with our strengths, play to the team, and be able to, not, be looking to see who can make the play, but all of us figuring out how we can make plays together, and I think it's going to be beneficial to us having that chemistry from day one, which we will have because of, how we was able to finish the season off last year.
LeBron over here, Jim Hill, KKL9 News, to your right.
Jim, what's up?
Good to see you.
Good
How
to
you
see you,
doing?
buddy.
Good luck this year.
No, thank you.
Where and how did you develop the passion that you have? And you mentioned that word before several times.
Yeah.
Where and how did you develop a passion that you have for this game?
Well, I mean, it started when I was super duper young, and it literally got me out of like the situation I was in, meaning like sports has done so much for all of us, obviously, but I mean, I can speak to me as a 8-year-old kid to be put into sports and get out of the inner city and get out of the ghetto at the time. It gave me I could get away from reality for 2, 3, 4 hours, being on a basketball court as an 8-year-old kid and running around and enjoying it with, guys that I just met, or being on the football field and being able to just feel the breeze of, the air and being able to have competition and maybe even letting some anger out on the football field because of what you got going on, in your regular life. So I think the passion kind of started there. And then when you put in the work and you start seeing the results of things happen, I think that also creates it more and more and more over the years. I think it just stuck with me. I've always wanted to be, I guess when I decided that I wanted to make this basketball thing real, and I figured out that I had a lot of talent. I figured out I had the demeanor and the passion for it. I was like, I just want to put everything into it to try to be the greatest that I can possibly be for me. And I think it all just tied in, over the course of the years.
LeBron, last season at this time, you were talking about how the Olympics opened up a memory of competing at a certain level. Was there something this offseason that maybe gave you a similar reflection or opened up another revelation about this next chapter for you?
I think the chapter of just competition and how hard it is to prepare for a season. If you look at the landscape of our off season in our league, you can see some of the acquisitions that's happened all over our league, and especially in the Western Conference. The Western Conference is super tough, super competitive, and that's great. I mean, we wouldn't want it any other way to be able to go out and compete versus some of the best teams, best clubs, best personnel that you have every single night, and understand what you're playing for. So. Yeah, I mean, I watched a lot of the EuroBasket, games this off. Obviously, a lot reason was because Luka was playing. I was seeing what he was doing with Slovenia and things of that nature. But just the love of the game and the passion for it just gets me excited.
LeBron, when you opted into your contract this year, your agent released a statement saying that you were looking to compete for championships, evaluating the roster, stuff like that, the competitive level. It sounds like you feel pretty good about it, but is that the case, that you feel pretty good about the way the roster's shaped up this year?
Yeah, I'm excited about getting to work, and I'm excited about to see what we can do.
Hey, Bron. A couple years ago, you said you enter every single season with something to prove. Presumably, last season it was playing alongside Bronny. What do you want to prove this season, and is there a chance that you would hold on to play alongside Bryce?
As far as prove, I just think for me personally, just trying to go out there and just, be the best player I can be every night, both, as far as my game, but also just mentally, just staying, present and things of that nature. Like, knowing that the end is soon, not taking for granted, Tuesday night in the city that maybe I don't want to be in that night, but like seriously, like let's lock in, and because you don't know how many times you get the opportunity to play the game, or to be able to compete, so there's times where you wake up and you just feel like you just don't have it, so those will be the days where I know I can lock back in real fast, like, okay, well, you won't have many days like this, so let's lock in and enjoy the moment, enjoy the rest of the ride. So that's the exciting thing about it, and understanding, like, how present I can be and how present I will be. I'm not sitting here. No, I'm not waiting on Bryce. No, I don't know what his timeline is. He's his own young man now. Like, he's down in Tucson. We'll see what happens this year, next year, But he has his own timeline. I got my timeline, and I don't know if they quite match up, but we'll see.
Hey, LeBron. It feels like over here. Sorry, it's right.
Yeah.
Hey, it feels like so much of the discourse about you heading into this season, and also even to a degree heading into last season, was about your age and about people's sort of expectations, or like what someone could hypothetically do at that age. And it does sort of feel like that discourse is a little bit divorced from the actual product you put on the floor last year and the level that you're still playing at. I'm wondering what that experience is like for you, like hearing that discourse and knowing, I guess, how much you still have shown you have left in the tank.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool to, like, I don't know, just to know how many miles I got as far as this game in my 22 years, now starting 23 years, and to still be able to play at a high level, to still be able to go out there and can make plays and be respectful on the floor. It takes. I mean, it's just super humbling and gratifying for me personally. I love to play the game, and I love to play at a high level. And for me, age is kind of just a number, but it is reality too, though. I mean, you look at the history of the game, it's not been many guys at my age, or especially going in the year 23, that's been able to play at a level like that. And I'll just try to not take it for granted and just try to give the game as much as I can, inspire whoever I can, the younger generation, my generation, the generation after me, the generation to come, and just like, I think you are of age is what you, I guess, tell your mind you are. And I'm around a lot of young guys. I'm around a 10-year-old daughter who's running through the house all day, every day, screaming. I got an 18-year-old son who's in Tucson. You see him on TikTok dancing with his mom and his sister. And my 20-year-old is right over there, turning 21 in a week. Like, how could I not feel young? And then, I mean, my wife is beautiful. I look good. I mean, I look at my age as like the wine that I drink. The older wine I drink, the better it is. What's up, BT? So, like, I feel great. I mean, I don't know. I sleep well, I guess.
Bron, in previous media days, you've said that there's always like one skill or thing that you focus on trying to improve over the summer. What was your focus this
My golf swing.
season?
That's the one skill I was trying to improve this summer.
Look better.
I don't know. Probably I spent a lot of time on my catch and shoot, 3-pointers. I've probably seen a couple of videos, either me reposting, me working out with Chris Johnson, during my summer workouts, understanding like how can I make the most of when I don't have the ball, either, moving into space. Obviously Luka and AR going to do a lot of time of handling the ball. We got Marcus Smart now who's going to handle the ball. Gabe, Bronny, when he gets his opportunity to handle the ball. We have a lot of guys that can handle the ball. So how can I still be effective, on the team where I don't have to handle the ball as much? I'll handle the ball as well. But I guess I did a lot of everything, but I did shoot a lot more catch and shoot threes, just wanting to be ready. So, my OG, Otis Carter, always told me if you stay ready, you never got to get ready, and it's literally that simple. So that's what I try to do this summer. All right, appreciate it, guys.
Hello.
Hey, DeAndre, right in front of you. So the last time we spoke to you was, I guess, a couple of months ago now. Just wondered what that time has been like for you as you've talked to your new teammates, to your coach, and just how that's made you think about your role entering this season.
I'm truly excited to be here. Everything counts, and you could feel the pressure through the door. This team wants to win the championship.
DeAndre, maybe one of the best moments or stretches in your career was playing pick and roll with Chris Paul. What are you looking forward to when it comes to playing pick and roll with Luka Doncic? And how big of a part of your job with this team do you think that specific role is going to be?
I've proven myself that, I dominate best with playmakers, and, I'm here once again, and I'm much older now, and the game is much easier to me, and, just playing alongside Luka is going to make a lot of things easier. It's the true nature of the game, and we're here just to emphasize that even more.
You mentioned the word pressure. Is there a sense of you that you need to prove that pressure is not a big deal for you? You can handle this situation coming up?
Honestly, pressure is a privilege, and, I'm in the right place to be where, everything counts and the fans want us to win. And, I'm here to just add to that legacy on bringing a title here.
Speaking to win with the LA Times, speaking to that legacy, especially here at this franchise, what does it mean to you to be wearing this jersey and the pressure of this city specifically?
Like I said, pressure is a privilege, and, just to be in this environment and this city that, holds as a unit, that really cherishes this organization, it's hard not, it's like black and white. It's hard not to, to tell what they're going for and what's the goal. And, I don't make it too complicated, just staying in the gym every day and just staying consistent, proving to the organization and my teammates, that I'm ready to do it.
DeAndre, what have you learned about JJ as a coach just over the past couple of months since signing with the team and his coaching style?
He's very straightforward. He's serious in what he says he meant, and that's about it. He didn't really say too much. It was just more like, just handling our team workouts the right way and just us being on time and doing what we're supposed to do to get ready for training camp.
DeAndre, you've been the primary rim protector on a team that made the finals. How do you see your skill set defensively fitting in with this group and with JJ's scheme?
Well, now all pressure is on me, and I'm a little older now. Like I said, the times where I was the only big and protecting the rim, I was pretty inconsistent and didn't really know the tricks and trade of the game, really, especially playing that high of a level. And now it's just terminology where I can communicate on the court and just know where I'm at on the floor and just controlling the game from the get-go. It's much easier now because I'm competing, and I'm wanting to compete every night. So it's way better now.
Hey, DeAndre, over here on your right. Hey. This is kind of the first time in your career that you've gotten to choose your own destiny to a good degree. I was just wondering, what that experience was like for you, what that decision-making process was like for you, and if it gives you any sort of sense of invigoration, I guess, that you chose to be here, it's intentional, and you kind of get to choose your own adventure from this point forward.
Yeah, it was an opportunity that I know for sure I wasn't going to take for granted. Like everybody said, pressure, yes, is what I wanted. Waking up every day knowing that it's counted and, knowing that I'm a part of a legacy that wants to win a championship. Being around guys and great athletes like Luka and LeBron, just, embracing that and, feeling that aura and just, being a part of it and not taking it for granted, it makes me want to work even harder, and, it's just helping me embrace everything even more.
Hey, DeAndre. Right. Just looking at the offseason, were there specific things that were important to you, whether in your game, once you decided also to come to the Lakers, how you could just fit in so seamlessly?
Yeah, just being consistent and sharpening my tools, sharpening my game, getting ready for whatever role they want me to play. If they want me to score, rebound, protect the rim, no matter what it is, I'm ready to do it.
Hey, DeAndre, what's your history with LeBron from growing up watching him as a kid to being in the NBA against him to now getting to be his teammate?
Well, growing up watching him, I always thought of him as a leader. I always looked at him, every team he went to, how he led teams that made guys great. And, that was his goal. One of his goals, even have it in the interview I used to watch through high school, just, him just wanting to lead and him being that leader. And, obviously being competing against him throughout my career, it was always like a movie playing against Bron. And, now that I'm his teammate, it's just surreal. It's just, you here and, talking basketball and, being next to him and Luka it's not a dream no more.
DeAndre, fair or not, the perception of you, your reputation around the league, taking a little bit of a hit over the last couple seasons. How much do you look at this year as an opportunity to sort of change that conversation?
It's the biggest opportunity I can say of my career. Some people say it's my last leg. Some people say it's my last chance. Well, it's the opportunity that I can say I'm truly not going to take for granted. And, it's almost like a wounded animal. I feel all the tension, and I know where I'm at. I've been in the gym every day. And like I say, I'm somewhere where it counts now. And I'm happy that everybody get to see it. And I'm happy where, as a player as myself, I get to, get a chance to prove something big on a big stage.
Hey, DA, as a follow-up to that, what has been the messaging specifically around that narrative to you from LeBron and Luka heading into the season? What is it like entering into all of that, having them to lean on?
I mean, I feel like everybody here has something to prove in a big way, and, the chips is on all of our shoulders in a way. And not to say this is the Lakers, and, the expectations are pretty high. And, every night is competing to the best of our abilities and doing what we can to bring and add to this legacy.
Yeah, I wonder with you and Luka, do you guys have some shared energy when it comes to having a chip on your shoulder right now? I mean, you've got the history of the draft, history with the agency, and the last couple of years that you've had. Is that something where y'all connect in terms of trying to prove some folks wrong right now?
Yeah, only actions can show. You see how much work he's put in to see where he's at, and how he's really really just embraced being a true professional and showing and telling what he's about, changing his whole body and his mindset. And me, you guys have an angry Ayton, where I've been disrespected most of my career and just been doubted. And I'm here where all is that behind me, and I can add all that fuel into winning and playing alongside Luka.
DeAndre, what's the mental challenge for you to playing alongside Luka and LeBron?
Huh?
What's the mental challenge for you to play alongside Luka and LeBron?
I don't know. The mental challenge? I don't know. I'm just embracing every opportunity. Like I said, there's nothing I'm not ready for, because I've been in the gym consistently, just preparing and just waiting for my opportunity to come. It just so happens that I'm here on the Lakers on the biggest stage, and honestly, I'm just embracing everything, just adding to the puzzle, and just want to just contribute the best way I can.
I am ready.
Hey, Marcus.
How you doing?
Just wondering this summer, like now once it became clear you were going to be here, physically, where do you feel like you're at? How excited are you to show sort of the player that you know that you are, that maybe people didn't get a chance to see as much these last couple of seasons?
Definitely. I'm very excited to be here.
I'm very excited to be back on the big stage. These last 2 years for me has been rough, from team to team, and then injuries, compelled me from playing a lot of the time. So really this summer was just, trying to get as healthy as I can. In the game of basketball and in any sports, it's hard to get back to 100%, but you try to get as close as you can. And that's the goal for me. And, it's definitely been a tough road, but being here, the comfort that I have, the way that this organization and the teammates have embraced me is definitely going to help that.
Marcus, hey, Dan Weinke with The Athletic. DeAndre just told us that he thinks this is the biggest opportunity of his career, right? Having been bought out and, going into all of this stuff. I'm curious, for you, kind of how you view this opportunity for yourself to play again on that stage that you mentioned. Do you feel like this is a reset for whatever is next for you in your career?
Definitely. I'm right there with DA. I got bought out as well. So, this is a big year for me and my family. Like I said, those 2 years kind of went under the radar. People probably forgot a little bit, what I can do and what I bring to the table. This year is definitely huge for me, and to be able to bring back to light what I've done my whole career.
Hi, Marcus. Brad Turner from the LA Times. You've mostly been a starter your entire career. Does it matter to you what role you play here with the Lakers?
It does not. I'm here to win. However that means, that's me. Like I've been saying around that no matter whether I start or come off the bench, my presence will be made.
Tuking to win with the LA. Oh, right here. JJ was just talking earlier this week, last week, about what you need to be in terms of like a defensive presence, a leadership presence. What do you hope to kind of reestablish in terms of those skills and those parts of your game now that you're here in LA?
Definitely. I've talked with JJ and what he expects from me on both ends, but especially that defensive end, and it's everything I've been doing my whole career. It's nothing new. And I remember the first thing he told me was, hey, if we're going to get the Celtics, Marcus Smart, that's who we want. That's who we need. And we need you to be that person and be who you are. So for me, it's just coming out and giving everything I got on this court and leaving it out there every night.
Kobe Price, SoCal News Group. You just mentioned conversations you had with JJ. Just what have been your impressions of JJ as a coach now that you've had a couple of months of being able to talk to him?
First off, it's weird, to go from playing against him, game plan to try to run him off the line and chase him all night and every night to sitting down and him telling me who now, instead of chasing me, this is who you're going to chase. But no, it's definitely been great. JJ, his IQ when it comes to this game as a player, as a coach, is great. And we're all still learning. He's not perfect, but he strives every day to be, and that's only going to help us.
Marcus, you can defend multiple positions, and over the last couple of years, you've tended to defend up a little bit more. Do you have a preference on defending up or down, or does it matter to you? And with those conversations with JJ, what has been the vision in terms of your defensive role positionally?
No, there's not one thing that I prefer. Every night is going to be different. Every night is going to cause for a new challenge. And sometimes I might have to guard the smaller guards, and sometimes I might have to guard the bigger wings. That's just what it is. And with JJ, he fully understands my versatility, and he wants me to use my versatility to help this team.
Marcus, you've played against LeBron for so many years in so many situations. What stands out when you think about LeBron as a competitor, and what does it mean now to be his teammate finally?
Wow, definitely. Being a competitor, he's at the highest of the highs when it comes to it. We know the player he is. We know how great his mind is when it comes to this game. And having the opportunity to play against him, it feels good to be on his side now and not having him game plan against us. And so I'm looking forward to that, and we're going to have some fun.
Marcus, just your thoughts on the entirety of the roster, having Luka, Austin, Reeves, LeBron, all these guys, the addition of DeAndre, and just what do you make of the makeup of the team in the West?
I love it. We got a lot of guys that can do a lot of things in a lot of special ways. We got some talented guys on this roster. Even the guys we didn't mention. The depth that we have, and like I said, the hunger that this team has. Got a lot of guys working for something. and everybody's working for one goal, but we're all working individually for our stuff, for our families, and to go out there and be the best that we can be so we can help this team.
Marcus, a follow-up quickly. What's the onboarding process like when you join a team that has these big-time expectations? Memphis was in a similar situation. Do you dive into film? Do you watch Did you watch like a bunch of like Luka, Lakers, like stuff like that? And I'm curious kind of what your sort of initial impressions were.
Definitely. As a professional in your profession, you definitely need to do your homework. So for me, having these times of playing against Luka and watching him, I definitely go back and watch those games and just try to figure out, what can I do to make his job easier, and help this team and try my best. It's new, so you do have to dive right into it. You can't be on the other side trying to tiptoe in because you will get left behind.
Marcus, Minor Castillo desde la cancha, right here. Which one is going to be your role on offense this season with the Lakers?
That have not been discussed, but I believe my role is going to be, just as it is on the defensive. Everything that I bring, my skill set to help this team, whether that's, scoring, whether that's creating, and playmaking and doing all the little things. Thank you, guys.
Hey, Rui.
Hey.
Rui, you've been here for a little while now, and so now that you kind of know how everything works, so what are you putting together about Luka's first full season, some of the new acquisitions like DeAndre and Marcus Smart, how that impacts what they want you to do? What's kind of your state of Rui going into this season?
I mean, yeah, I just play my games. Whatever I've been doing it. Whatever the team's been asking for. Me and JJ had a conversation last week too. What he wants from me. I think it's been 3-4 years with this, with the Lakers, and I think every year we getting something. But I think this gonna be the year that we really have to lock in, and we just gotta make a run. I think for now we are healthy. We gotta keep we gotta stay healthy and all that. But I think with all that, we talk about a championship shape. This whole summer we talk about it. We've been getting on the gym. Not only the basketball, but the weight room, and then those kind of stuff. I think it's gonna help in the long run, especially in the long playoffs. So. I think we're ready for it, and just those new guys, I know it's different, there's a different vibes in here. They kind of looking around and they see the vibes, but yeah, I think they're gonna be fine, and we're gonna get it wrong, quick. I think easily, I think those guys, nice guys. So yeah, I'm excited for it.
Rui, I don't think it's a secret how comfortable you've become in Los Angeles. Have you had any extension conversations with the organization? And I guess as you head into this season, how do you view kind of your place in this organization's longer-term plans?
I mean, yeah, it's just, it's the business, business side of it. I know I can't really do anything about it, I just got to play my game. I just got to do whatever I need to do to help this team to win this year, even that, It's not going to be for me to kind of think about it, to do anything about it, because I can't do anything about it. It's out of my control. So I think I'll just do whatever I need to do to help this team to win, and whatever that comes after, it comes with it. So I'm not gonna just focus on only that or the contract or whatever for me. Yeah.
Rui.
Hey, Luka, my captain.
Rui, just Brad from the LA Times.
Good.
What's it been like playing with LeBron James, and what have you learned from him that has helped you with your game?
Yeah, it's work ethic. He loved this game. It's all about this game, basketball, taking care of his body, just the little stuff. Watching him. Just off the court, on the court, during the meetings, hanging out, whatever, going to dinner. Just everything about a game. He always thinking. He's a very smart guy. I respect him as a human. Really, really, really good guy. I love him, just being around, talking, hearing his story, about back in the day, when he got drafted or those kind of stuff. But yeah, he loved this game, He's still, He's trying to figure it out, you know, when everybody talk about retiring and all that, but he still want to keep going, you know, I think. For him, I think he wants to win one more time. I think that's why he's here right now. So I think I have to be, you know, me as a team, you know, we have to help there. You know, I think his time gonna come soon. You know, it's not gonna be 10 more years. You know, everybody knows that. So yeah, I think just being around with him, you know, just learning about the game, you know, the work ethic, taking care of his body it's been great. Yeah.
Tuking to win with the LA Times, Luka just walked by to go into a training camp and have that extra time to kind of build that chemistry with him and the rest of this team. How helpful will that be compared to last season when you had to kind of like scramble a little bit in the mid-season after he came in?
Yeah, because you know last year we were still figuring out who's going to be the coaches, you know. So, but yeah, this year I think we had the whole program of the building the chemistry with the team. You know, I was in the Greece with the Luka for a little bit, you know, for Jordan, you know, workshop or whatever. I was hanging out with him, and we talk about you know, how we gonna be, you know, this year. But I think you know, we both excited for it. I think everybody's healthy, everybody's in the championship shape. Those gonna be help a lot, you know. So yeah, just building the chemistry. We be hanging out, you know, we been working out together. As a team, we went this little stuff the whole summer with the team. So yeah, I was walking out with LeBron and all that. So yeah, I think our chemistry has been great, and just gotta keep building that.
Rui, you mentioned having a conversation with JJ and talking through things. You mentioned championship shape, making a run. You talked about things as a team, but individually, what did JJ express or tell you that he's looking for from you this season?
I think he want to be more aggressive on both hands, you know, offensively, defensively, rebounding. You know, he thinks that sometimes I get shy, you know, off those kind of stuff. So I think for me, it's just being a mentality of being consistent, of being aggressive. You know, that's going to be my whole season, the key for me. So like you say, like, you know, being in shape, it's going to be the important. And but also I think the mentality-wise, you know, I gotta be locked in every game to, you know, do whatever I need to do for the team, and yeah, just be aggressive. That's gonna be my whole year goal.
Hey, Rui, just the play off of that, the aggressiveness, is that sometimes tough because you have guys like Luka, LeBron? I mean, where do you feel like you could naturally be aggressive, and when do you kind of feel like, all right, I gotta play a little bit backseat because of certain players on the team?
No, for sure. I know I have to think about it because it's not my show, you know, it's their show, you know. So I'm just helping them. But I think for me, it's just but I think with this team, I need to be aggressive more. You know, that's why they ask me all the time, especially in this long run, you know, and LeBron's 20, you know, this is his 23rd year. So, you know, he's not going to be able to do that whole time, you know. So when it happens, you know, I have to be the guy to kind of step up and cover the whole things. But I think me, as you know, this age and this career of my life, you know, I can be the guy that try to, you know, be aggressive the whole game, you know, offensively, defensively, consistently. So I think that's what they ask for. So I just gotta try to do that. Yeah.
Hey, Rui, over here. David from Clutch Points. LeBron was talking about how he put in a lot of work on his off-ball game, especially catch and shoot threes, you know, based on all the ball handlers you have. I think last year you were one of the tops on the teams in terms of points off cuts. Just kind of what work have you continued to put in your off-ball game based on, you know, the makeup of this roster?
Yeah, like you said, you know, it's of course Luka, Austin, and I think LeBron too. You know, they get a lot of attention. So for me, it's just an easy game for me. You know, it's because I'm most of the time wide open. So the threes, and they're always watching them. You know, so that's why I got all those back cuts. You know, I kind of figured it out throughout the season. But those are easy points for me, and it's not a set play or anything, you know. It's just I have to kind of read it, and so defense got to be always on the paying attention. So it's you know, we just have to help each other, you know, and those guys to, you know, easy to kind of attack to the rim, make the playmaking and all the stuff. And so yeah, it's just I think I watch a lot of film with that, you know, when to cut, not, or just catch and shoot and all those kind of stuff. But it's all about timing and chemistry. So I think we build in that, and we just got to keep building that.
Rui, Minor Castillo desde la cancha. In this team, you have to be versatile in defense. You need to be big and small forwards. How do you prepare on the off season to do that?
Just watch the film, watch the games, those kind of stuff help me, the mentally, because I didn't have any games this year, whole summer, I didn't have a national team or anything. So, watching our games, and kind of mentally had to prepare, when to this, like you say, I have to go 1 to 5 sometimes. So, just be ready for, just guarding one, point guard and a guarding center is different things. So I kind of switch my mind and say, like when to help on the side, who's going to be the help man, who's going to be this and that. So, yeah, watching film it kind of helped me. So yeah, I got to keep doing it.
Rui, there's been a lot of speculation about the starting lineup, and JJ was asked about it last week. He said he hasn't really thought about it. He feels like there's 7 to 8 guys on this team that could start. Do you have a preference whether you start or come off the bench, and how do you feel that potentially affects your role, if so?
It's coach's decision, It's not my decision, but yeah, like you say, if I prefer, whatever, it's not really about, who's starting or not, just, the minutes, who can be on a court longer, So I think it's, for me, just whatever the team needs to, me to do. I don't have that. It's just, but we've been building the chemistry, that I've been the starting 5 for 2-3 years, whatever. So whatever they decide, whatever, I have to do it. But yeah, it's just a matter of the chemistry, how we can build and we can be on the court together, and how we can give an impact.
八村選手、お疲れ様です。この夏は八村選手、日本に行ってブラックサムライキャンプをやって、大勢の日本の子どもたちに影響を与えたと思うんですけれども、そのキャンプから八村選手が受けた刺激がどんなものだったのか、でそれが今シーズンに八村選手のどれだけのモチベーションになっているのかを教えていただけますか。
そうですね、今日本でキャンプやったってことで、僕が日本に本当に帰ったっていうのはもうほとんど初めてなんですね。最初のドラフトの時に1回帰ってますけど、その時もナショナルチームで帰って、あと2年3年ぐらいはコロナで帰れなくて、でその後はまたナショナルチームで帰ってなんで、今回こうやって帰ったのは本当自分の意思で帰ったのは初めてで、こう帰った中で日本人ってあるその誇り、僕のそういう僕に対する愛情とか、そういうバスケのどれだけ今まで僕が始めてきた時からどれだけ成長してきてるかっていうのを日本全体のバスケ自体が感じたので、すごい僕としても感動しましたし、すごい不思議な気持ちになりましたし、これからも僕ももっと頑張っていきたいなと思いますし、子どもたちにどんどん影響を与えられるような選手になりたいと思っているので、そこは僕も一言で言うとやっぱり日本人としての誇りをすごい感じた夏だったなと思います。
コーチもペリンカ GM も八村選手が今すごく自信にあふれてるっていうふうに言ってたんですけれども、その自信はどこから来てますか。
自信は経験ですよね。やっぱり今までこうやってやってきて、NBA ではもう7年目になりますし、レイカーズではもう3、4年なので、それやっぱり今の経験やってることがこの自信につながってると思うので、そこはもうどんどん続けていかなきゃいけないなと思います。
お疲れ様です。このオフシーズン、どういったプレー的なトレーニング、どういったところを一番伸ばそうと思って取り組んでこられたかっていうことと、今シーズンの八村選手自身の目標を教えてください。
そうですね、スリーポイントのところでキャッチ&シュートをもっと早めに打てるようにというところですかね。クイックに打てる、いろんなもっと難しい状況でも打てるというところを意識しましたね。やっぱこの NBA っていうのはやっぱり一瞬の判断っていうのが大事なリーグなので、そういうところでたまに僕はスリーポイントを打てるところで打てなかったりしているので、僕のシュートリリースの遅さのせいで、そのことを考えて、自分でももっと早くシュートを打てるようにしようと思ってやりました。個人的な目標、いやもう自分としてチームに頑張れて優勝できるように自分でもしっかりと貢献しながら自分のそういう力を今まで7年間 NBA でやってきたことをしっかり出していきたいなと思います。
Thank you.
Hey, Austin. JJ said you shot a 65 this summer. Do you think you could have helped the Ryder Cup team?
Man, I thought we was going to see one of the greatest comebacks in sports history yesterday. To my neighbors, I'm sorry. You probably think I'm a psychopath. I was yelling at the TV for 6 hours straight. Heartbroken when Russell Henley left that putt short. And, yeah, Shane Lowry stepped up and made a big putt. No, I don't think I could have helped the team. I did shoot a 65. It was one of those days, made every putt, hit the ball really well, obviously. So, yeah, but big shout out to our Ryder Cup team. They could have folded on that last day, but they didn't. They kept fighting, and that's a lot of respect to that.
JJ did follow up, though, by saying that he thinks you're in incredible shape, the burst, the athleticism, all that. And his coaches said you were the best player in the gym every time that you were in here. Like, what did you use your summer for basketball-wise, and like, where do you feel like that leaves you heading into this year?
I feel like I'm in a good spot. Spent a lot of time in the weight room, a lot of time on court. We played a lot of pickup. Just had a really, fun summer. It's fun to get in here and compete since, when season's over, you're kind of like it's time to relax, and then you get a month in and you miss competing. And just to get back in here and do that is a lot of fun, and can't wait for the season to start.
Austin Reeves, Brad Turner from the LA Times.
Good to see you.
Likewise. You played with LeBron for a few years now. What's it like playing with him? And have you had any conversation about his future, that word retirement?
After retirement?
About retirement. Have you guys had any conversation on what's it like playing with him?
It's great. That was one of the biggest reasons I wanted to be in LA was to, hopefully at some point play alongside of him. It fast-tracked a little bit than what I think everybody thought. Was able to do that in year one and just grow, a real relationship with him, not just on the basketball court, but as a friend. Today was the first time I seen him since we got beat by Minnesota because I kind of fall off the grid after season. I go back home, and he's been traveling. And every time you see him, he's got a big smile on his face. He's the biggest kid in the room, has a great time, and you got to appreciate that for somebody that's been going at it for so long, 23 years. At some point you feel like the joy might not be there, but every time you see him, it reinsures that he's here for one thing and one thing only, and that's to win. But I don't know about retirement. He might play for another 10 years.
Speaking to win with the LA Times, what do you think about LeBron's golf swing progress? You said that was his big thing he worked on this offseason.
Yeah, he told me this morning he made his first birdie the other day and said that it's one of the best feelings he's ever had in his life, which I can probably, if you've never played golf and you do one day and you have a birdie, you'll understand. It's getting better. It's still not great. I played with Bronny the other day, actually, and he's got a really good swing. And I texted Bron on hole 18 and was just like, I got all my money on Bronny. I'm putting the bank on it. So just having fun with it, but it's a work in progress.
And something JJ said this last week was saying he asked everyone to come in championship shape. He wants championship communication from you guys. Just what does that mean to you to be at that championship standard even before you guys enter this training camp, and how do you think that kind of sets the tone for this team?
I think that's, exactly what, you're kind of looking for is setting a tone from day one that we're here for, one thing and one thing only. And to do that, you have to be committed to, whatever it takes. You could go down a long list of things that, what it takes to win a championship or win at the highest level. And you've got to be committed to do those things. So anything that the coaching staff preaches, we as players have to, respect it and go do it at the best of our ability.
Austin, when we spoke with JJ on Thursday, he was asked about, you, LeBron, and Luka, the chemistry developing, working together. He mentioned that he had a meeting with Sean McVay, brought up utility plays, having you guys all involved. What can the chemistry of you guys meshing in that way, what can that do for this team? And what are your eagerness levels to get that chemistry further to develop?
The eagerness levels are very high. I felt like we had, good synergy with the three of us last year towards the end of the year. And that's just basically being thrown in the fire of after the trade. You know, it was kind of go play basketball. You know, go figure it out, and because we didn't have a lot of time to really, you know, mesh that together. But I thought we did a really good job of that, and having this preseason to, you know, do just that will be really exciting, and I think that it'll really help our team a lot.
Austin, last season in the regular season, about half your shots were threes. In the playoffs, that jumped up to about 2/3 of your shots. So with that 3-point uptick and you playing a little bit more off the ball in the playoffs, how much of an emphasis was that for you this offseason in terms of catch and shoot or just off-ball play and you know, kind of figuring out the best way to fit with Luka and LeBron?
Yeah, I mean, that's been one of my biggest things since I got in the league is what can I do to help our team be successful? Is it this or whatever that might be is what, you know, I'm going to focus on the most. That doesn't mean that, you know, I push everything else to the side. You know, you obviously want to get better in all aspects, but yeah, whatever I can do to help our team be successful. I've had some really long talks with JJ about what that looks like, and we got a good idea what that is. So it'll be really fun to, you know, go through that figuring it out mode. And I think that's one of the most beautiful things about basketball is nothing's ever going to be perfect, but you can always, you know, twist and turn things to try to get there.
Austin, right. There's at least some perception around people who look at the fit of the roster that you and Luka long term might not be a great fit, but, you know, just because there's duplication offensively and maybe some of your weaknesses defensively kind of overlap or whatever it might be. First of all, do you agree with that? But also, too, how do you work around those kinds of things when you do have sort of similar skill sets with the players you play with?
I mean, I think the one thing that, you know, the positive that you can take is, you know, we have a lot of skill on the floor. You have a lot of different, you know, rotations you can go with obviously with, you know, Luka and Bron in particular, you know, you can always have, you know, one of those two and then throw me on the court at any time with many different lineups. So I feel like that's one way that you can, figure things out. And then as far as the, you know, the people that say it can't work, I believe that, you know, at one point last year when we were all playing together with the roster that we had, everybody was, you know, really high on us and everybody thought that we had an opportunity to win a championship. So when you lose one, you know, series, the way that we lost it, we obviously didn't play the way that we wanted to. I didn't play the way that I wanted to. It's frustrating, but, you know, before that, when we was, you know, had our 20 games together, you know, everybody in the media and everything was saying, oh, this team can compete for a championship. So I don't know why that changes off of one series.
Austin, DeAndre told us that he thinks this is the biggest opportunity that he's ever had in his career and that he's angry. What does he do for this team's ceiling? And if you guys get the best version of him, how important can that be for your guys' championship aspirations?
Yeah, I think it's huge. Once again, it's a really talented basketball player that, you know, I got the opportunity to play a couple pickup sessions with him here. And just the, you know, the skill level, the way he, you know, communicated on defense was very, very, I was very happy about. And it's something that, you know, we needed last year in spurts. But yeah, just like you said, just, you know, pick and roll presence, you know, lob threat. And then, like I said, somebody that can, you know, knows how to communicate on defense and be in the right spots will be really big for us.
Hey, Austin. Obviously, you just mentioned DeAndre and some of the other additions, listening to Marcus Smart up here and Jake LaRavia, we'll get a chance to listen to. Just what did you make of the entire offseason and how the roster gets ready for this upcoming season based on the additions?
Yeah, I think it was a really good, you know, off season. You know, like you said, bringing in Marcus, someone that's, you know, super competitive that, you know, competes on every possession, and then bringing in Jake and then DeAndre. I honestly think Jake's going to have a really, really, really good season. You know, his size, his speed, his athleticism, you know, he can guard almost every position on the floor. I think if you go back and watch him when he was in Memphis or the little short stint he had in SAC, he had, really, really good performances, not just on the offensive side, but on the defensive side, being active, getting deflections and stuff like that. But I feel like it's, we added some pieces that we really needed, and we have really high hopes.
Austin, this is Sport 24. Hiya, okay.
How we doing?
For you, what is it that makes Los Angeles such a special city?
There's a million different things. Obviously, the Lakers organization is one of those, and I grew up a Kobe fan, so I was, automatically a Lakers fan. And just to, for it to come full circle and me to be here, for the fans to treat me the way that they've treated me since day one has been special. Obviously, the year-round good weather that I can go golf is a bonus. Traffic is but there's so many, good things. Food's great. When I first came out here, I never thought that I would really enjoy it, but ever since I've been here, it's been like a second home to me. Appreciate y'all.